Alright everyone, welcome back to Minotaur Welcome back to Minotaur Hotel, yes, where we have only the smallest of prostitutes. No, fucking hell. Welcome back to Minotaur Hotel, where apparently one sip of vodka is all it takes to get me to start flubbing my lines. Ha-ha! Excellent work. Okay, so previously, we had a bit of a brief chat with Argos, the Labyrinth's appointed torturer and resident fuckboy, who seems to really be there just to be an annoying piece of shit and barter away vital bits of equipment for the running of the hotel, but okay. Yeah. Shit's just been getting more emotional and more real recently, so let's just get straight back into this. Let me have a little sip here. Without drinking on an ice cube, that'd be an excellent move. The cave swallows you back into the hotel's depths, a velvety darkness to which your eyes struggle to adapt. Your breathing and footsteps echo all the way up the spiral staircase. Your shadow extends long into the chamber, turning irregular over the floor's jagged rocks. As your eyes settle down, you gaze upon it, at how gargantuan it is, the shadow of a man. Asterion sitting against one of the chamber's walls, looking at you and at his beast stretching from your feet. The fire from his eye flickers at you. I got the mirror. Now we can get the hotel back and running, right? Got a feeling that might be back up and running. Just as a little aside. You hand it down to Asterion. His fingers graze and curl softly over the bronze, and then he takes it from your hand with a ceremonial grace and cradles it against his chest. You take a good look at Asterion. His fur and shirt are matted with sweat despite the chamber's somewhat chilly temperature. His tail swishes behind them like a rowdy sea. I am sorry for not informing you earlier of the foreman. I am truly sorry. I don't know what came over me, Master. Don't worry about that, it was no trouble at all. He wanted me to send you out, but I wasn't going to go along with that. So we had to figure it out another way. He wanted food, water, and shelter. I signed a contract letting him summon it. In exchange, we got the mirror. Yes, that is usually what he asks. He's an old thing from the labyrinth. His shape changes every now and then. He disappears for a few years at a time, even decades. But the foreman has existed for a few millennia now. His role, too, is to torture me. Thank you. Asterion hugs the mirror. His fingers brush against its surface, teasing out the sharp cold of the metal. He holds it against his chest like something dearly precious. Well then, shall we go back up? Yes, pardon my slowness, I'm feeling a bit nauseous. This all left me in a panic. Oh, I can wait. You sit down beside Asterion, taking a position quite distinct from his, sitting cross-legged in contrast with his knees up. So, did he hurt you back then? Is that why you're afraid of him? He doesn't usually hurt me. He plays games to terrorize me more often than not, and he sends out worse things to get me. There are horrible things out there, creatures made by the gods themselves. Argos must be one of them, just gifted with more intelligence than bloodlust. The valley is beautiful, isn't it, Master? It is a sight to behold. But to me it is terrifying. A beautiful place can be hell too. For millennia I was tortured there. Just being down here makes me sick. Master, would you allow me to speak frankly? You don't have to ask my permission like that. If you want to speak, do it. I'm giving you my permission to speak to me freely, whenever you want. Your words cut through the gallery behind you. The world itself shudders in response, as if your words took root and shifted it forcibly. The Minotaur takes a deep breath and averts his gaze from you. Please, never send me out to the valley. I will do anything for you, anything at all. Just don't ask me to do this one thing. You may punish me however you want if I do something wrong. Even if I do everything right, too. I'll take anything. Just, please, don't make me go out. Now, see, the thing is, that is the kind of statement where, what if, to break Asterion free, he has to go into the valley? What if he has to face the things that torment him? I'm just going to shift the subject. You remain silent, thinking about what the Minotaur just said. Perhaps this is a decision you are not ready to make, for now. You change the subject, then allow the two of you to fall into silence. Eventually, Asterion signals to you that he's ready to make his way back upstairs. You have to stop a few times to let Asterion rest, but eventually you do make it up to the ground floor and to the lounge. Within the old lounge, glorious and eaten away by time, you and Asterion find a soot-coloured hearth right across from the bar. It's circled by a set of armchairs. Their leather is cracked and dried, but no amount of damage can hide the talent with which they were made. Sunlight falls in front of the hearth, coming through the tall glass windows of the lounge. Asterion kneels before the hearth in a prayer-like position. He lays the mirror aside for a moment, and summons logs of wood and fine, dried hay. Then he places the hay at the mirror's focal point. A beam of focused sunlight heats up the hay. You and Asterion wait.
Decades ago, had the fire gone out, I would have been punished. Tending to it was one of my many duties, and failing to do so was one of the gravest mistakes I could make. Once it is lit again, the hotel will come back to life. This realm is quite unlike the world outside, is it not? It's hard for me to even remember what it was like when I was alive. Back home, when I was just a boy, I went out hunting for wild goats with one of my brothers, finding our own food and bringing it back home. Our father would take me out to the fields. People believed that I would bring them good luck and good harvest. Food is harvested or hunted, wood is chopped down, homes are built with sweat and stone, but this world operates under different rules. The gods built the world where we were born, knowing well that we were fated to toil and suffer. Such is the fate of man. While you live, shine. Have no grief at all. Life exists only for a short while, and time demands his due. The gods appreciate it, the suffering of mortals, so they chose instead not to bind this realm by the same rules. If one wishes to inflict pain, he must chop down a tree and work the wood into a spear, then mine and refine the metal for its head. But here my jailer could summon, break, and summon spears to his heart's content. Why waste time working in the land when he could so easily summon all the food his body craves? So too could he bend the rules of life and space itself, the architecture of reality. The master's will is sovereign. As Asterion speaks, the hay twists as it dries further, and then darkens and emits a fine smoke. The pure flame will soon be at hand. The gods, however, seldom grasp human ingenuity. Change confuses them. They would gladly go by centuries without changing, repeating the same days forever and ever. I saw that with my own eyes. I may be a monster, but I am half human on my mother's side. Change comes easily to me as well. I have shifted with each century, adapting to my master's will, doing whatever it took.
A sliver of fire rises from the hay. Asterion picks it up, not caring for whether or not it gets burned, and places it between the logs.
You have kindness in you. But human ingenuity, at times, goes too far. There are things the hotel cannot accomplish no matter how much one tries. We just don't have Wi-Fi, I'm so sorry. It's dial-up only. We've got a good LAN system though, so if you want to do a Doom party, I think I can organise that. Man cannot be made immortal, for starters. The gods would have not been so lenient, neither can the dead be brought back. As powerful as the master may be here, he can never be made into a god. That is a fundamental rule of the Labyrinth. A pure fire, fitting for the gods. The gods are gone. From the stories guests have told over the centuries, it seemed to me that the world outside was well on its way to leaving myth and magic behind. But their power lingers. An offering to them may still be heard, and the Labyrinth will never let go of those fundamental rules. A man remains a man. While you live, shine, have no grief at all. Life exists only for a short while, and time demands its due. Have you heard that song before, Master? I heard a woman from Ephesus sing that. She said her husband wrote it for her when she died. A lot of people took to singing it down here, whether in Elysium or Tartaros. Life is short, for some more than others. It ought to be enjoyed. Whoever bequeathed you the hotel's deed gave you a gift greater than any fortune. This place, and I, will tend to your needs. You can live a blessed life, and if you allow this place to fulfill its man-made purpose, to give respite to those lost and wandering, it will give your life meaning as well. Even an existence as wretched as mine can have beauty, my lord. I do not quite know why I'm telling you all this. I suppose I miss talking, and I feel so nervous all of a sudden.
Don't worry about that. I like listening to you. This is fine, you know? Talking like this in front of the fire. I can't say I've fully figured out how this hotel works and what's going on, but this is a nice moment, don't you think?
Yes, it indeed is.
The flame looks like any ordinary fire, but something in it pulls your attention to it. For a long time, hours maybe, you and Asterion gaze at it. At the back of your mind, you can hear the hotel creaking and twisting, furniture dragging itself here and there, fabric ripping and sewing itself back up. You can, just at the corners of your vision, notice the lounge remaking itself. The sun drags itself through the sky. At some point, a vague shape materializes between you and Asterion. A wine bottle. The Minotaur is just as sluggish as you, but he manages to pick it up and open it. Much like last night, he drinks directly from the bottle, although this time he proves better at managing his half-skeletal mouth. But your attention goes back to the fire, as if it grabbed you by the back of the head. Embers spring in your mind, lighting up pathways and asking questions. You can see two figures in the fire, looking back at you. One wide, thick, and classy, while the other seems more athletic and fun. The hotel has a will of its own, and now it offers you a choice. You can just make out a pathway for those two figures. Which one do you want to bring to the hotel? Choose your destiny! Oh dear. Russian Standard and Pepsi I highly recommend. Lovely. Classy or fun? To be honest, fun, and I drop industrial strength air quotes around that fun. People, not my speed. I'll take someone who's classy over someone who's fun. You feel like you could reach into the fire and pull them out, but your meditation is broken by Asterion.
I was afraid I'd be locked in there forever. It kept coming back to me. Was this the fate of the gods? Were they locked away somewhere, stuck and forgotten? Is that why they disappeared? If only I could disobey Master Clement's orders, I would have rammed that door down on the very same day he threw me in. But I couldn't. I cannot disobey the Master. Neither can I disobey you. For all those years I thought, and thought, and thought. There was nothing else I could do. My body was rotting away. I thought about all that could happen, every little possibility. I wish I could tell you that I dreamed, and indeed at times I allowed myself to hope. But more often than not, I thought about all the bad that could come next, every possibility. It is difficult for me to believe I am free. At times I catch myself thinking that this must be one of my daydreams. I was certain he'd send me out to the foreman, and it would all turn into a nightmare. My stomach was turning. I sat down because I couldn't stand up.
When you turn, you're greeted with a new sight. A rebuilt lounge, an afternoon sun outside, and an entirely different Asterion. Damn boy, he thick! Sorry. But it's not a dream. We are here. I just want to get back to my life. My hotel, my guests. Voices bouncing down the hallways, food and drink for all, listening to their stories well into the night. At times I would sneak out during the night, when Master Jean-Marie slept. Outside I'd meet up with a friend, a mathematician from the New World. We talked on and on about infinity, about the hotel's architecture. We'd bring wine and get way too drunk and rowdy. Then the kitchen staff joined us, and later the nighttime receptionist. I'd summon cigarettes for them, and in turn they'd ask Master Jean-Marie to put me in their cruise, and I'd just not do much. Just enjoy their company. It was life. I woke up every day knowing my existence had meaning. I had a purpose. It was all that I had, and that fiend took it from me. It was like a dream, It was as all... It was like a dream. It was as if all my past had never happened, and I could live a fantasy of doing something good. Each and every day was a marvel, because it was good and kept me from the nightmares. It didn't matter if the masters treated me well or not, because they were not my life. I had friends, and a reason to be. I wasn't the Minotaur from Crete, or some tortured prisoner. I was Asterion, that's all, and chances were they didn't know where to put what got me here in the first place. But the dream had to come to an end. It just had to. I died once, in Crete, and again when Clement kicked out my guests. All my other deaths, tortured by masters from centuries ago, were small compared to those. It isn't fair. I am a monster, I know my crimes. But what did my guests do? Nothing to deserve being kicked out of their home. We had veterans recovering from shell shock, soldiers still healing from their wounds, refugees from the fronts. We built a purpose for this place, no thanks to the gods, and that selfish fiend destroyed it. I'm awfully sorry. I forget my place when I drink, Master. It won't happen again. It was awfully out of place. It's fine, though. I gave you permission to speak freely with me, didn't I? And I meant it. If you were bothering me, I'd have told you to stop already, so you can relax. I suppose I want to learn more about you, what you went through. I can only assume times have changed. You are not like other masters. I'd have been put into my place with this insolence by now. I keep thinking this will all end at any moment now, that I'll wake up back in that room. Asterion's gaze wanders, and it seems that only now he realises the vast change in the lounge. The hotel is alive again. But it's not a dream. You'll see. It may take a while for you to believe me, but it's true. And I meant what I said. I want to be a good master to the hotel. And to you. Asterion smile lights up in his newly healed face. I'm glad of that. Of all the people there are, you were here, Master John Deep. Fuck, I forgot that was my name. Then I repeat my vows. If you're set on caring for the hotel and its guests, and fulfilling its man-made mission, then I will serve you, out of my own will. It will be a pleasure to serve you, Master John Deep. Yeah! There we go! These are things to come. Some thick boys! Guest management! Oh shit! And tasks! Ooh, okay. And explore the depths of the labyrinth. Hey! Yep, you can also follow them at Nenoff94, Squawksdev, and Misaligned Aleph. Oh yeah. And I believe these guys have an itch.io page, which I believe I already have in the description. See you later. That was fun! That was good! That leaves me wanting to play more. That was excuse me. That was an enjoyable experience. The writing is very good, and yeah, like I said, apart from the minor typos I've picked out, everything felt thematically consistent. I'd like to go back through this maybe in my own time and see if the alternate choices have a very divergent impact on the way the narrative works or not, but otherwise, yeah, I'd say follow these guys, see how the itch.io goes on, and when 0.2 comes out, I'll probably give that a little poke as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and catch you guys later. Peace.